All right, Nigerians, the 2027 presidential campaign is beginning to enter a very interesting stage because Atiku Abubakar has now drawn a line in the sand. If President Bola Tinubu refuses to participate in presidential debates, Atiku says he will not participate either. And Peter Obi's camp is also putting pressure on Tinubu, telling the president to stop depending on ministers, governors, party officials and political surrogates to campaign for him and come directly before Nigerians to defend his record. This is important because we are no longer talking about politicians exchanging insults at rallies. We are talking about something Nigerians should actually demand from every serious presidential candidate. Come before the people, stand on the same stage, answer difficult questions and defend what you have done or what you intend to do. So let us take these issues one after another. Before we go into the full details, please endeavor to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss what is coming next. Now back to the news. According to the statement issued by Atiku's campaign spokesperson, Kenneth Okonkwo, Atiku believes the current arrangement where opposition candidates appear at debates while the ruling party stays away is unacceptable. His argument is that presidential debates should not become a situation where Atiku, Peter Obi, Rabiu Kwankwaso and other opposition figures spend 2 hours attacking one another while the man currently occupying Aso Rock watches from somewhere else without answering the same questions. And I understand that argument. If Tinubu is asking Nigerians to give him another 4 years, then Tinubu should be one of the most important people standing on that debate stage. Not his spokesman, not his minister, not an APC governor, not Felix Moka, not Sunday Dare, President Bola Tinubu himself. Because Nigerians are not electing those people president. Atiku has therefore said that his participation in any presidential debate will now depend on Tinubu and the APC participating. According to Kenneth Okonkwo, Atiku believes the APC has been using opposition-only debates as a political strategy. Allow opposition candidates to attack each other, expose their weaknesses and create divisions among themselves while the ruling party escapes serious scrutiny. Atiku is basically saying, I am not going to help you do that anymore, but I also want to challenge Atiku here. There is a risk in this strategy because presidential debates are not organized for Tinubu. They are organized for Nigerians. So if Tinubu refuses to attend, should Atiku also deny Nigerians the opportunity to question him? That is something Atiku should think carefully about. You cannot accuse Tinubu of avoiding accountability and then respond by refusing to appear yourself. Yes, politically, I understand what Atiku is trying to do. He wants to increase the cost of Tinubu staying away. He wants every debate invitation to become a direct question to the president. Are you coming or not? But if Tinubu ultimately refuses, Atiku should not use that as an excuse to disappear. Go there, answer the questions, and leave an empty podium for Tinubu if necessary. Let Nigerians see who came and who refused to come. That could actually make a stronger political statement than boycotting the entire event. Because Atiku himself says he wants Nigerians to make an informed decision in 2027. Then give them information, face them. Let journalists question you. Let Nigerians question you. Let economists question your subsidy proposal. Let security experts question your security plans. Let young Nigerians question you about jobs. Let people question your political history. And let Tinubu decide whether he wants his chair to remain empty. Atiku has, however, made it clear that this does not mean he will stop engaging Nigerians. His campaign says he remains willing to participate in interviews, town halls, press conferences, and other direct forums. His objection is specifically to arrangements where opposition candidates are brought together while the incumbent stays away. And now he has issued the challenge directly. Atiku wants a national presidential debate with BOLA Tinubu. That is something I think Nigerians should support. But it should not stop with Atiku and Tinubu. Peter Obi is a major presidential candidate. He should be there. Other serious candidates should be there. Let them stand together and defend their ideas. Nigeria is too important for another election campaign dominated by dancing, insults, tribal arguments, religious manipulation, and carefully prepared speeches. We need questions, hard questions, and nobody should receive special treatment. Now, Peter Obi's camp has joined this conversation from another direction. Peter Obi Media Reach is asking Tinubu to stop what it describes as proxy campaigning and come before Nigerians personally. The argument is straightforward. The 2027 election should be about records, policies, competence, and character. And if Tinubu wants another 4 years, Nigerians should hear directly from Tinubu why he believes he deserves them. Again, that is fair. President Tinubu has been in power since 2023. He has a record now. In 2023, he could make promises. In 2027, promises are no longer enough. There are results to examine. What happened to the economy? What happened to the naira? What happened after subsidy removal? What happened to food prices? What happened to insecurity? What happened to electricity? What happened to employment? What happened to education? What happened to healthcare? What happened to government borrowing? What happened to corruption? What happened to the purchasing power of ordinary Nigerians? And yes, where the government has recorded genuine achievements, Tinubu should also be allowed to present them and defend them, but let him do it himself. That is what a presidential debate provides, and Nigerians should also be able to ask something very simple. After almost 4 years, are we better off? The president can answer yes, Atiku can answer no, Obi can answer no, but after that, give us evidence. This is where I want Nigerians watching to think about something. Would you actually like to see Tinubu, Atiku, and Obi standing on one stage for 2 or 3 hours with serious independent moderators, asking them direct questions, not campaign speeches, not spokespersons shouting on television, the candidates themselves, because I think that would tell Nigerians far more than 100 campaign rallies. Now, Obi's camp has also pointed to Tinubu's reported absence from the National Peace Accord organized by the National Peace Committee, led by former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar. They are using that to reinforce their argument that a sitting president seeking re-election should participate personally in important national electoral platforms. Their final message was very simple. If Tinubu wants another 4 years, come to the people. And I think that standard should apply to everybody. If Atiku wants the presidency, come to the people. If Obi wants the presidency, come to the people. If Kwankwaso wants to become vice president, come to the people. Nobody should hide behind spokespersons. Nobody should submit pre-recorded answers. Nobody should receive the questions beforehand. And nobody should dictate which journalist is allowed to ask what. Now, while all of this is happening, another controversy has emerged around Tinubu's campaign team. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, is questioning why Nigeria's Defense Minister, Christopher Musa, and Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, are involved in Tinubu's campaign council. And this deserves attention. HURIWA's argument is that Nigeria is currently dealing with serious security challenges, so the people responsible for supervising defense and counter-terrorism operations should be concentrating on that job. They specifically pointed to renewed concerns following the reported abduction of worshippers during Friday prayers in Dekara village in Niger State, with reports that women, children, and elderly people were among those taken. And the question is basically this: at a time Nigerians are still being kidnapped and killed, should the country's senior defense officials be spending their attention on presidential campaign activities? That is not an unreasonable question. Campaigning is important to politicians. Security is life and death to citizens. Christopher Musa and Bello Matawale are not ordinary APC members holding private positions. They are ministers with national responsibilities. Their primary obligation should be the job Nigerians are paying them to do. If insecurity is worsening somewhere, Nigerians do not want to hear that the people responsible for national defense were busy calculating campaign strategy. And this standard should apply regardless of party. If Atiku wins tomorrow and starts using critical security officials as campaign operatives while Nigerians are being abducted, I will say exactly the same thing. Public office must come before party politics. Now APC has responded to all this pressure, and Felix Moka is not impressed. He says Atiku, Peter Obi, and Rabiu Kwankwaso are grandstanding. His argument is that these men cannot present themselves as outsiders coming to rescue Nigeria because they have all participated in Nigeria's political establishment. He particularly attacked Kwankwaso, asking, a new direction to where? Moka says Kwankwaso did not just fall from the sky. He has been governor, minister, senator. He has participated in Nigerian politics for decades. Therefore, according to Moka, Kwankwaso and other opposition figures share responsibility for some of the problems they now criticize. There is truth inside that argument. Atiku was vice president for 8 years. Kwankwaso has occupied major public offices. Peter Obi governed Anambra State for 8 years. These are not political newcomers. They all have records, and those records should be scrutinized. But here is where APC cannot escape. Pointing at Atiku's past does not answer questions about Tinubu's present. Pointing at Obi's record does not answer questions about the cost of living today. Pointing at Kwankwaso's political history does not answer questions about insecurity today. You are the government now. You have controlled the presidency since 2023 under Tinubu and since 2015 as a party. So APC must defend its own record. That is exactly why this debate challenge matters. Felix Moka says these opposition candidates contributed to Nigeria's problems. Excellent. Put Tinubu on the stage with them. Let him make that argument directly. Let Tinubu tell Atiku, you were vice president. This is what you failed to do. Let Atiku respond. Let Tinubu challenge Obi's record. Let Obi respond. Let Obi challenge Tinubu's economic record. Let Tinubu respond. Let Atiku challenge Tinubu on security. Let Tinubu respond. That is democracy, and let moderators also challenge the opposition. Atiku says he will restore targeted petrol subsidy. Ask him exactly how much it will cost. Where will the money come from? How will he stop corruption and smuggling? Peter Obi says he can manage the economy differently. Ask him exactly what he will cut. What will he privatize? What happens to taxes? What happens to borrowing? Kwankwaso talks about security and agriculture. Ask him for timelines and numbers. And Tinubu says his reforms are working. Fine. Ask him to explain why millions of Nigerians still complain about the cost of food, transport, and basic survival. Then let Nigerians judge the answers. No candidate should be protected. That includes Tinubu, that includes Atiku, that includes Obi, that includes everybody. And there is another reason Tinubu should seriously consider accepting this challenge. He is the incumbent. Incumbency comes with enormous political advantages. He has visibility. He has the machinery of government. He has APC governors. He has ministers. He has party structures. He has a presidential communication machine. If his administration believes its record is strong, then a debate is an opportunity, not a threat. Come and defend it. If subsidy removal was necessary, explain it. If the economic pain was temporary, explain when Nigerians should expect stronger relief. If revenue has increased, explain where the money went. If infrastructure has improved, show it. If security has improved, give Nigerians the evidence. If the opposition is lying, confront them with facts. That would be far more convincing than having 10 presidential aides speaking every day. And opposition candidates should also understand something. A debate is not simply an opportunity to attack Tinubu. You will be scrutinized too. Atiku cannot spend the whole night talking about Tinubu. Nigerians need to hear what President Atiku would actually do. Obi cannot simply say the current government failed. Nigerians need details of what President Obi would do differently. Every candidate must move from criticism to solutions, because Nigerians are not electing a chief critic. They are electing a president. Now the politics behind Atiku's condition is also obvious. Atiku wants to position himself as the main challenger to Tinubu. By saying, I will debate if Tinubu comes, he is trying to frame the election as incumbent versus principal opposition. That is politically smart. But Peter Obi is also running. So Obi's supporters may reasonably ask why Atiku should determine the debate structure around himself and Tinubu. This is why I would prefer the strongest candidates all appear. Tinubu, Atiku, Obi, and any other candidate who meets a reasonable national threshold. Put them together. Let Nigerians compare them directly. And viewers, I genuinely want to know where you stand on Atiku's decision, because there are two reasonable arguments here. Some people will say Atiku is right. Stop allowing APC to hide while opposition candidates fight themselves. Others will say Atiku should attend regardless and leave Tinubu's chair empty if the president refuses. Which approach do you think puts more pressure on Tinubu? That debate itself is worth having, but ultimately this election should not become another contest where Nigerians are asked to choose based on carefully manufactured images. We have serious national problems: economic hardship, insecurity, unemployment, food prices, energy, public debt, corruption, education, healthcare, institutional trust. These candidates want control over one of Africa's biggest countries. Standing before Nigerians for a few hours and answering difficult questions is not too much to ask. So my position is simple. President Tinubu should accept the debate. Atiku should attend. Peter Obi should attend. The other serious candidates should attend. Let Nigerians see them without handlers whispering answers. Let them defend their records. Let them defend their promises. Let them challenge one another, and let Nigerians make the final judgment. Because if you want the power to govern more than 200 million people, you should have the courage to stand before those people and explain exactly what you intend to do with that power.